All right, everyone, there's a link in the description, archived, of course. We've got to talk about how Donald Trump has pretty much crippled the Democratic Party. In fact, he's broken the minds of the Democratic Party. This is the truth. It's not hyperbole. A lot of times when a political party or faction or ideology prevails over another one, people get like all hyperbolic and like all ballsy about it and say, ah ha ha, we've beaten them forever. That's not actually the case. Democratic Party will eventually reform in some new form and prevail at some future point. My hope is that they become like a unionist party or something like that. I'm hoping they don't go far to the left because then they'll experience additional pain. The beatings will continue until morale improves, so to speak. That being said, Trump, because of his unique personality, really has broken their psyche entirely. There is no organization in the current Democratic Party, which is again something that I don't even necessarily celebrate. I don't like the current Democratic Party or its ideology or the people that are members of it, generally speaking. But that can change. They're capable of that change. The Republican Party did. Yeah, I hated the fucking neocons under Bush, for example. Warmongering, economic waste, all sorts of crazy shit. They didn't really care about the border any more than the Democrats did. They talked a big game that never did anything about it. Then you had the reform of MAGA. So we're going to have a sane border policy. We're going to have sane diplomacy, preferably without bombing small children, and so forth. A sane tax policy. The Democrats can do the same thing, but right now they are in complete rout, utter disarray. They don't know what they're doing. The leader of the party at the moment, if I had to read the last week's news, would be Chuck goddamn Schumer. He appears to be leading the Democratic Party. Pelosi came out the other day and was encouraging Hakeem Jeffries to use his powers. And I was thinking to myself, what power does he actually have? You are running the minority within the House of Representatives. You have certain capabilities, but they're pretty limited. Chuck Schumer is the Senate Minority Leader. He appears to be the one speaking for the friggin' party. And he's turned his back on the Democrats several times now, to the point where the leftoids are really upset at his very existence. Fetterman is a person with brain damage is the sane person within your political party. He's the most sane person there. Uh, I hate to break it to you, but you're not doing so well as a political movement. This is self-evident to those that are on the outside looking in. It's self-evident to those of us who are independent voters, and every election, midterm or otherwise, main election, midterm, doesn't matter. I have to look at these two parties and the other adjacent parties, the Libertarians, the Constitutionalist Party, the Green Party, and so forth. Look who they're fielding, in what positions they're fielding them, and the ideology that they support. And I do this habitually. I literally do it for a living. Right now, I can say the Republicans have issues. There are still plenty of neocons in the party, although they are declining, which I think is a good thing for the nation myself. The neocons are on decline. There are libertarian elements, like a Rand Paul, to an extent, a Thomas Massey or somebody like that. Then there are Republicans that are more single issue, or they're just sort of there for the show. This happens all the time, by the way. You have a lot of people that enter politics simply because they want to be in politics and don't really care about anything else. They'll just vote along with the party. And then you have like the MAGA populists, people like Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and so forth. Um, I suppose that Rubio has been brought to toe. He seems to be actually doing a pretty good job as Secretary of State. This does not surprise me. Some people thought it was a terrible idea that Donald Trump brought him aboard, and I said give him a chance. Gave him a chance. He's doing fairly well. Hey, cool guy. You're still a little bit weird in multiple ways, but you're doing your job, so who gives a fuck? On the Democratic side, though, unfortunately, what we have is complete disorganization. You've got multiple poles of power seemingly competing with one another. Nancy Pelosi's trying to talk down to Hakeem Jeffries. Schumer's trying to assert himself because he's tired of dealing with Pelosi's shit. You've got Fetterman, who's off to the side and saying, "Hey guys, we might want to do better," and nobody listens to him for the most part. Then you've got the left wing bloc. What used to be the Gang of Four, then it was basically just the tards of Congress has shrunk a little bit since then. The Occupy movement and all of the other groups, the Justice Democrats, seem to have petered out for the most part. That's mostly crime related, I think. And they have their own block. They don't work with the party at all. And you've got AOC sparring with Pelosi. You've got Elon Omar saying things that the party like rolls its eyes at. It makes no sense. It's like literally if you had like a group of drunken college kids trying to form a government, that's basically the Democratic Party. On the other hand, the Republicans have solidified into several blocs, but they're capable of working together as a singular entity. There's a level of organization that normally would be ascribed to the Democrats. Normally, the Republicans are the ones that are in disarray. So the right wing, like the Tea Party types, the evangelicals, the moralists, and the log cabin Republicans and so forth, they don't work well together. They're not capable of cohesion. And the Democrats normally have been a very top-down hierarchical structure that's more like Empire America more than anything else. They're the ones that had the organizational capacity. But they've fallen into shatters, and while the Republicans have some cracks there, their mirror is still intact, so to speak. It's still actually a whole thing. And so you've got this weird political dynamic, one that I didn't really predict would ever exist, where the Republicans are now the anti-war party and the party of labor, and the Democrats are now the party of war and of the super rich, other than Elon Musk, who they habitually fixate on as a form of projection. Um, Donald Trump has broken their minds. The Democratic Party right now is crippled. Like it's like two runners are running a race, but one just broke both of his legs. Well, I wonder who's going to win that race. Is it going to be the dude that is a little bit slow, which is the Republicans, of course, and messed up, or is it the dude who literally cannot perambulate around in the field? The Democrats have fucked themselves. Look at their party leadership. Look at the people that they've got lined up in the roster for 2028. Look at the people that are lined up for the midterms and their strategy there. Half of the DNC's attaches at the state level are fundamentally broke right now. They have no money. They are getting no donors. They have been completely crippled. They're not going to be able to compete. And this is not what I want, by the way, again, as a non-natural voting for a Republican candidate, but not being a Republican. As an independent voter, I want two choices at the very least. I mean, what if the Republican candidates fucking suck? I'm gonna have to vote third party. I can't vote for the Democrats right now. They can't get their shit together. They don't have any shit to get together. They're constipated as hell, I suppose. That's basically the way that they are. Look at their leadership. Pelosi, Schumer, Jeffries. Jeffries is the only one of them that's even remotely sane. And who is the candidate going to be? Who are you going to offer up? I suspect it'll be a dark horse if you have any organizational capabilities whatsoever left, because you're going to have to do that because all of the other candidates will lose. The Republicans will win by default. They'll probably win the Senate and the House, and that'll be that. Your party will decline into irrelevance at some point. It isn't impossible for this to happen, by the way. It's entirely possible. If the Republicans have stolen the thunder of what originally was the Democratic Republican Party movement, and the Democrats have gone off into la la land, eventually you're going to run out of money. You're going to run out of supporters. Those that aren't demoralized will be uninclined to support the party in general simply because the party is incapable of winning. And again, that's not what I want. Oh, it would be fine if the libertarian movement rose up and had sane candidates for once, and then we can go from there. But right now, effectively, within US politics, you've got a dichotomy, Democrat and Republican. That's what we have to suffer under. So you can choose the formerly stupid but now at least slightly sane party, that's the Republicans, or you can choose the party that apparently they don't even know how to walk. That's the Democrats. They're crawling around on the floor at the moment. Donald Trump has been central in so doing. That's about all. Peace out.